I think I will not take much time between you and the lunch. And so we just saw because two very wonderful presentations on women and the built environment. As you all know that in the world of building design, the role of women is often forgotten. Certainly, male architects has captured the limelight and soaring skyscrapers and other high-profile buildings. Architecture is no doubt a male-dominated field, and that's why we are here to discuss women in architecture. And the most sought-after commissions and the highest awards really go to the women. Nevertheless, many women have overcome these obstacles and established their highly successful careers and designed landmark buildings, and that changed the way we see our world. I would like to give a brief history about the women architects, how they entered into the arena of Indian architecture, modern architecture in India. As many of you might be aware that Marian Griffin, she's an American architect, was the first woman to be assessed as an architect in the world in the year 1895. It's a long time ago. And she married Walter Burley Griffin, and together designed and planned the new city of Canberra, that is Australia, in 1915. It would be interesting to note that she has worked on the Lucknow University's master plan as well in India, with her husband in 1935. And she is known to be the first woman architect to have worked in India. In a judgment of a critic, Raymond Mehman, who's a very famous critic architect, she was the greatest architectural delineator of her generation. She was incidentally the first employee, either woman or men, of Frank Lloyd Wright as well. So she has the dignity of working with such great architects in her field. Parallel to the struggle of independence in India, women architects began to take first steps in the profession during the 1940s and 1950s. Praveena Mehta, as we heard about her last evening, Urmila Yuli Chaudhary, Parveen Mistry, Geeta Sarabhai, Hema Sankalia, and a few others studied architecture in India and abroad in 1940s and 1950s. They were exceptional women, not only in the choice of the profession, but also in their personal life, as they designed buildings beyond the traditional spaces of home and family. This laid the foundation for entry of women in various architectural institutions in India, but at a very marginal scale. Once, as a visiting faculty in one of the colleges of architecture, I asked my students to name 3 women architects at international level. They perhaps generally cannot go beyond Zaha Hadid, as we mentioned in the beginning by Kiran Joshi as well, at the international level. And when I asked them to name 3 women architects from India, then you know what was their answer? Any guesses, please? That's a good guess. Any 3 women architects? So they answered, architect Kana Patel from Ahmedabad, architect Nisha Matthew Ghosh from Bangalore, and architect Archana Chaudhary from Chandigarh. This was just with the lighter vein. Actually, most of them could not answer it properly. So we have to do something to address to this status quo, so as to enable and empower a majority of female graduates to become active professionals. It's a very good initiative on the part of IIA and Council of Architecture to have organized such a platform to give due recognition to the work done by various prominent women architects in the field of practice, education, and interiors. This session was on women and built environment, to see how women behave as creators and users of the built environment. And our first speaker of the session was architect Kana Patel, and she has mesmerized all of us with her works. In fact, I was told by the organizers to ring the bell after her time gets completed, but I literally forgot to do so. She is a versatile personality and has created her own niche in the family of architects. She has very clearly outlined that how women are different from men in the way they design. Emotional intelligence, very important thing. Emotional intelligence is the one that makes anyone a complete person. And for that matter, women as an extraordinary person. While I was going through her profile on the net, because I was going to meet her and talk and to listen her for the first time, so I got to know that apart from being a good architect, interior designer, dancer, and a gardener, she's a very good cook as well. She cooks, she loves cooking, and I just talked to her. She has invited us all to Ahmedabad, to her house, on a very grand dinner. Her cultural ethos imbibed in her works are very important, and the themes of works are very different and novel. And our second speaker was architect Nisha Matthew Ghosh. She is a buzzword in urban architecture, and she knows how to set the things straight, as very well depicted in her Freedom Park project, which won an award also, and because she has the capability of setting the jailers to a Freedom Park, so that's really great. And she has shown us how sustainable buildings are achieved, and she really gave a very interesting presentation. But all said and done, the whole conference on women in architecture, we are here really to discuss problems of women in architecture and further address to them so as to empower them, to make them extraordinary from the ordinary. We have to work on the principles of equality so that there are equal opportunity and equal justice to all of them. I have some suggestions to put to the recognition of women architects on record. As told by Mr. Uday Gadkari yesterday, that there are about 55,000 architects in India and about 50,000 student architects studying in approximately 300 architectural institutions. And out of these, about 30 to 40% are women or girls, but in actual practice or field, only 10 to 12% come up. Though there is a significant increase in the number of women students entering and graduating from various colleges of architecture, but in spite of gradual improvement over the years, the women are underrepresented, I would say underrepresented, both in architectural practices and in higher academic positions or in other positions in IIA and Council of Architecture. With the changes the profession of architecture is undergoing due to globalization, a majority of women architects need to be recognized at higher platforms. Have you ever wondered why women architects feel that they are not getting their due? Perhaps society has not given them enough recognition. Taking a cue from the inaugural speeches of our presidents of Council of Architecture and IIA, who are friends together, I was talking to some of my architect friends last evening, and it is on my mind since a long time also. Like in Chandigarh Municipal Corporation, and we saw the guest of honor of Pune Municipal Corporation as another woman. A woman becomes a mayor on rotational basis. And like the seat of mayor in any municipal corporation in India is reserved for women after every 5 years. So as per the Constitution of India also, there is 33% reservation of women in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Therefore, if my fellow women architects permit me, I would say that the biggest achievement of this conference would be to have the following: dedicated seats for women in the Council of Architecture on similar basis, because women are ex officio. Thank you. Actually, women in Council of Architecture are ex officio members. They are not there by their choice or by the choice of their male colleagues, I would say. We have 5 representatives from IIA in the Council of Architecture, because wherever I could interview, that's where I'm proposing. So out of 5 representatives, we can have 1 seat reserved for women. And apart from this,
I have said 2.
Yeah, it could be 2.
2, yes. Maybe I'm just asking for the least, you know. And the post of President of Council of Architecture should be reserved for women, like after every 4 years, you know, on rotational basis. Thank you very much. And similarly, for the presidentship, with due regards to our president who is amongst our audience, and similarly for the presidentship of IIA, the seat should be reserved for a women candidate on a rotation of every 4 years or so. And to give 33% reservation of the women as per the council, as per the Constitution of India, in the Executive Council of IIA at national, chapter and center levels. I would suggest that 1 seat should be reserved for women amongst the office bearers, like the 5 posts, like chairman, vice chairman, or the president, vice president, and treasurer and joint secretaries. And 2 seats out of the 10 seats at the national level of IIA, and 1 seat out of the 5 seats at the chapter level and center levels should be reserved for women in the council members.
It should be more, ma'am.
I have said 5.
Sir, I think let's start with the 1 or 2. Maybe if more women architects come up, then we'll have more such forums to decide and put forth her point, I think.
No, but the population of women are 50%, then why we should satisfy on 1 seat only?
Oh, yes, I think I leave it up to the president of IIA to decide. Yeah, because he is there to take decisions on that along with Council of Architecture president. Because to my knowledge, only 2 women architects have been chosen in the IIA Council in its history of about 100 years. So we need to get recognition up. So we all women architects should get together to make our women recognized at higher platforms. So this is my appeal on behalf of all women architects in the country. I humble appeal, I would say, to the presidents of IIA and Council of Architecture for the suitable reservation of women in their councils. And I think, in my opinion, this could be the best takeaway from this conference, because many conferences are held, the issues are discussed, but they are never implemented. And another point which I have noticed, and the same has been pointed out by my revered teacher, Kiran Joshi as well, in the first presentation, that even if women are doing good work, they do not document their work properly at both national and international forums. Their work gets unnoticed, and most of the architectural magazines also do not have projects by women architects, because they do not send their projects or work. So how would they publish it, you know? And I appeal to all women architects who are practicing in the field or who are teaching in their professions or doing whatever interior work or many other kinds of work women are into these days, architect women, to document their work properly so that it becomes an inspiration for the next generation of student architects to come. And thank you very much for this forum. Thank you very much.